Assistant Terry Waite has already held talks with the Libyans and is shortly to return in an attempt to negotiate with Colonel Gaddafi for the release of Ipswich schoolteacher Alan Russell and Robin Plummer, an engineer from Royston. Tony Scase reports.
At their home near Ipswich, the Russell family set about decorating the Christmas tree, but it wasn't the usual happy occasion. The children's father, schoolteacher Alan Russell, has now been held in Libya for 7 months. The charges include possessing state secrets. Mrs. Russell says her husband is innocent and made this plea.
I appeal to Colonel Gaddafi to release the men before Christmas. The children and I are facing a desolate Christmas without my husband, and I'm sure the other families are as well. I'm sure it would promote the good relationship between the two countries if he would do this.
Now the Archbishop of Canterbury is trying to help you. What has he said to you?
He rang me up last night, and he rang the other wives as well. And he said how concerned he was about the fate of the 4 men, how he was following this affair very closely, and his prayers were with us. He was very kind on the phone.
His special representative, Terry Waite, has been to Libya to try to secure the release of the 4 detainees. Has he made any progress?
Yes, I believe he has. He was very well received by the Libyans. They talked to him and looked after him. He saw important people over there and did everything he could.
What's he going to do now?
He's come back to England. He's talking to the Foreign Office, and he's hoping to go back again before Christmas.
Your husband yesterday was critical of the lack of activity by the British government. What's going on behind the scenes?
Well, I've been told that all that's happened really over the last 6 months is that the British government have appealed to anybody visiting Libya from other countries to speak to Colonel Gaddafi on behalf of the men and ask him to release them. But in my opinion, that's not nearly enough.
What do you want them to do?
We, the wives and the sister, have written to Mrs. Thatcher and the Foreign Office repeatedly over the last 7 months, begging them to send some envoy, some person, some representative of the government to Libya just to talk to the Libyans, to speak on our men's behalf.
Alan Russell appeared in court in Tripoli yesterday. Outside the court, another detainee from the region, Robin Plummer, spoke out.
I've done nothing wrong. Let's make this absolutely clear. Tell the whole world I've done nothing wrong. Tell my company, tell my wife, tell everybody I've done nothing wrong, and if I go to jail, then I've been stuck up. I want to come home, keeping our chins up as high as we can. It's pretty tough going, but come on, everybody, do the best you can for us, eh? If anybody is listening, can we have some warm woolies, please, because it's frightfully cold here, and it's all, you know, it's frightfully difficult to be British when you're standing there trembling with cold.
His request for warm clothing on last night's 9 o'clock news didn't go unheeded. Today from Royston, his wife, Pat Plummer, left for London with supplies for him. What did she think of his broadcast?
I thought he looked okay, quite well. The fact that he was able to joke about needing jumpers and being British and things, I felt he couldn't be that desperate. So I was quite pleased, and I think the other wives felt the same, having seen their husbands. Really, they're okay.
What's it been like with him away for so long?
Awful, really, but you have to go on. I've got 3 small children, and you have to carry on as best you can without their father and my husband, and we have done. Now that Christmas is coming, it's a bit more difficult. We miss him a lot now, inevitably. And maybe Colonel Gaddafi will see fit to release him for Christmas, I hope so.
Mrs. Plummer delivered jumpers, sweets, shampoos and books for her husband to Lambeth Palace, the Archbishop of Canterbury's residence. They'll be taken to Tripoli by his representative, Terry Waite, when he continues negotiations with the Libyans.